In a quiet village surrounded by lush green hills, life was simple. People farmed, laughed, and celebrated festivals together. Yet, amidst this peace, one thing united the villagers more than anything else: their fear of the forest. The forest loomed at the edge of the village, dark and impenetrable. Its towering trees stretched high into the sky, their gnarled branches twisting like fingers. Elders warned that the forest was cursed, a place where spirits roamed and strange things happened. They said those who entered often returned changed or never returned at all. Nduka, a 16-year-old boy with a mind full of dreams and adventure, couldn't resist the call of the forbidden. While others shunned the forest, he often lingered near its edge, staring into its depths, imagining the secrets it held. He dreamed of uncovering treasures, seeing the unseen, and becoming the hero of his village. One day, curiosity got the better of him. It was late afternoon, and the village was quiet. Nduka stood at the forest's edge, clutching a small dagger he had taken from his father's hut. He wasn't planning to go far, just far enough to see what lay beyond the first row of trees. As he stepped into the forest, the world seemed to change. The air grew cooler, and the sounds of the village faded behind him. The whispers of the wind became louder, carrying words he couldn't understand. Nduka's heart raced, but his feet pressed on. After walking for what felt like hours, Nduka stumbled upon something extraordinary: a hidden village in the heart of the forest. The houses were made of glowing stone, their light casting an ethereal glow. Strange flowers bloomed in vibrant colors, and the air smelled sweet and heavy. At the center of the village stood a man, tall and elegant, with a charm that immediately put Nduka at ease. The man introduced himself as Obinna. He seemed friendly, his voice smooth and welcoming. "You wandered far, my young friend," Obinna said with a smile. "Not many are brave enough to enter the forest. Stay a while and rest. You'll find nothing to fear here." Nduka, though cautious, was captivated by the beauty of the place and the kindness of its host. Obinna offered him food and water, and as they talked, Nduka found himself forgetting the warnings of his elders. As the sun set, the hidden village transformed. The glowing stones dimmed, and an eerie silence fell over the land. Nduka noticed that the other villagers, who had been friendly during the day, now avoided him, their eyes filled with fear. "Is everything all right?" he asked one of them, but the woman hurried away without a word. That night, as Nduka lay in one of the glowing houses, he was awakened by a chilling growl. He crept to the window and peered outside. What he saw made his blood run cold. Obinna was no longer human. His body stretched and twisted, his limbs growing longer, his fingers turning into sharp claws. His eyes glowed red, and his mouth was filled with jagged teeth. Obinna had transformed into a beast. Nduka watched in horror as Obinna prowled through the village, his monstrous form terrifying and unstoppable. The other villagers cowered in their homes, their doors and windows tightly shut. By dawn, Obinna was human again, his charming smile back in place as if nothing had happened. Nduka decided he had to leave. He couldn't stay in a place where night brought such terror. He waited for Obinna to be distracted, then slipped away, running through the forest as fast as he could. The trees seemed to move, their branches grabbing at him, the whispers in the wind growing louder. But Nduka's determination pushed him forward, and eventually, he made it back to his village. For days, Nduka couldn't shake the memory of Obinna's monstrous form. He tried to warn the villagers, but they didn't believe him. They dismissed his story as the overactive imagination of a young boy. But soon, strange things began to happen in the village. Animals disappeared, crops withered, and people began to hear growls in the night. One evening, as Nduka sat outside his home, he saw a figure standing at the edge of the forest. It was Obinna. Obinna's arrival brought fear to the village. At first, he appeared human, charming the villagers with his smooth words and warm smile. But Nduka knew the truth. He pleaded with the elders to take action, but they hesitated, unwilling to believe a boy over a man who seemed so kind. One night, Obinna revealed his true nature. Under the cover of darkness, he transformed into his beastly form and began to hunt. The villagers, now convinced of the danger, looked to Nduka for guidance. With the help of the village elder, Nduka devised a plan to banish Obinna. They gathered the villagers and built a circle of fire at the edge of the forest. When Obinna appeared that night, he was met with flames. The beast roared and thrashed, but the fire held him back. Nduka, trembling but determined, stepped forward with a charm given to him by the elder. "Leave this place," Nduka shouted, his voice shaking. The beast lunged at him, but the charm glowed brightly, forcing Obinna to retreat. With a final, deafening roar, Obinna dissolved into a shadow and disappeared into the night. The village returned to peace, but Nduka was forever changed. He had seen the darkness that lay hidden in the world, and he carried the burden of his actions. The elders reminded the villagers of the lesson they had almost forgotten. Some places are forbidden for a reason, and curiosity can lead to great danger. Nduka's story became a legend, told for generations to warn others about the shadow of the forest and the boy who dared to face it. Thank you for watching.